Welcome, everyone, to a new episode of Don't Be a Loser. We will go over 5 up-to-date relationship related comments. Remember, a loser is someone who simply gives up on love and lives miserable forever, in denial, pretending to be happy. So let us go ahead and begin, shall we? All right, first one on the chopping block. You can still find good women at a club, just like how you find bad women in church. Yeah, this is a very true statement. You can meet your potential future soulmate almost anywhere, believe it or not. And I'll tell you a wild story really quick. Once upon a time, I had a friend who fell in love with a prostitute. Supposedly, he saved her from such a horrific profession, if you can call it that. Who knows if they're still together? It's possible, but not likely. But the point is, even in the worst case scenario, who knows? That could be your potential soulmate. I'm not saying to go look for your potential soulmate in such areas, okay? I'm just saying that this statement here, you could have the best or the worst in a church or in a club. That's just the mystery of life, isn't it? It all depends on how the relationship goes. So, I'm going to say we have our first winner of the series. So, bravo to this comment. It is a winning comment. You can find your potential future soulmate just about anywhere. It could be a 7-Eleven for those of you who live in the US. It could be at a dollar store. Who knows? Who knows? Let's go ahead and move on to the next one, shall we? Nice winner to start off with. I like that. Our first winner comment of the series. I love it. Okay, so second comment. Okay, settle this for me. Can men and women have honest friendships with no ulterior motives, like wanting to get closer, be more than friends? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at that. It's only possible if the person is single, okay? It's not possible if you're in a serious relationship. If you're committed to your partner, your past opposite sex friends are now just acquaintances because all of your time needs to be focused on each other. I know a lot of people can't handle that. They say, well, I can still have my opposite sex friends. Why do you need them? If anything, they're going to only prove to be a potential problem, especially if your partner has initial trust issues. You don't need friends of the opposite sex anymore once you're taken. If that sounds too sad for you, then you're not ready for a lifelong relationship. You're not. Now, if your partner is comfortable with that, oh, sure, you can have friends that are from the opposite sex while you guys are married in a serious committed relationship, then that's between you two. But just know that you're playing with fire. You're playing with fire because more cases than not, stuff starts to happen. The friends of the opposite sex start getting mixed signals. And then if you have ups and downs, particularly the down part with your partner, those down parts, guess who's going to be potentially a problem? It's those friends that you're trying to lean on, telling you, and especially if you tell these friends of the opposite sex all of your personal life, what's going on in your relationship. So, no, the answer is no if you're taken, but yes if you're single and just browsing, right? Which I don't advise. I think you should go out with one person at a time. But I don't stand for dating. You can read my book and watch my video for more about that on my website. Why I'm against dating, because it's a rushed sense of false love. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this comment. Okay, settle this for me. Well, it's already settled. Can men and women have honest friendships? Well, honest friendships, there's no other friendship other than honest. Ulterior motives. Well, like I said, you're playing with fire. That's where the ulterior motives will go. All right, so how do I rate this comment? It's just a question. So it's a fair question. I don't expect everybody to know this one, so I'm going to go ahead and list it as a fair question. It's not a winning question. It's not a loser's question or comment. It's perfectly fair. So let's go ahead and just rate this one fair because it's just a simple question. Let's go ahead and move on to our third comment out of five. Can y'all imagine a girl having more than 50 exes, all online relationships? How would y'all describe her? I'm curious. Oh my goodness. All right, y'all. I would describe her as emotionally lost and mentally confused. Okay. I mean, clearly she's either using men or doesn't know what she wants. Plain and simple. She obviously doesn't know how to choose the right potential partner. Especially online relationships almost always fail. It's almost guaranteed. The chances of you finding somebody online that's legit, it's unnatural. It's artificial. Even with virtual cameras, the microphone, it's not the same as person to person, and needs to be in person if you're going to have anything serious. And I kind of really cringe when people say, I found somebody online, we're serious, and you still haven't met each other. You guys could have at least taken a quick vacation to go visit each other or something, at least a day or two. But no, they believe that they're in love because they click. You can like all the same things and click just fine in every checkbox, but it can still fail miserably because you don't have that element, that physical presence, and it's worth more than any words I can possibly spew out right now. So let's address the question here. 50 X's. Well, that's horrible. That's a really bad track record. That's a high body count. Online relationships. Well, it doesn't really count, does it? I mean, see, that's the cringe part. This is really cringe. Now, the person asking this, how would y'all describe her? I'm curious. It's a fair comment, so let's go ahead and put fair up here. It's a fair question, it's a fair comment, but only a loser would actually do this. So this girl would be a complete loser saying that I have 50 exes and they were all strictly online. What are you talking about? You do know that that's not a relationship, right? Online only? That's where the whole cringe comes into the picture. Those don't count as relationships. You have acquaintances online, but if you don't meet these people in person, it's not a real relationship. End of story. Let's go ahead and throw away the book and the key with that one. On to the next comment, shall we? I mean, that's just really cringeworthy, right? To think that you have an online relationship and that counts. No, it doesn't. It's just chatting with somebody. All right, next up, our fourth comment. I feel like I'm not great at dating or handling relationships, and I honestly don't know how to deal with a long distance relationship. What am I supposed to do? Okay, well, first of all, you should stop dating because that's just rushing and hoping that someone will match exactly what you want, much like gambling. Long distance relationships, they only work when love has already been established, okay? There is no long distance relationship if you guys haven't fallen in love with each other. It's one thing to know each other, but to fall in love with each other means this is the one for me. I'm almost completely certain. So, with this person saying, I'm not great at dating or handling relationships, well, that's a major problem right there. You shouldn't be dating. That's the problem. That's why you feel this way, because dating is a high risk game of illusions. Handling relationships. Well, you don't even have a relationship if you're trying to date. That's not a relationship. The dating phase is just getting to know somebody. You're trying to rush the process of getting to know someone. I don't know how to deal with long distance. Well, I mean, don't consider online distance relationship. That doesn't exist because it's online. What am I supposed to do? Well, you're supposed to wise up. So once again, this is I would suppose it's not he's not a loser. He's actually admitting, I'm going to say it's a fair comment because hey, he's saying that I'm not great at dating or handling relationships. Okay, well you're just admitting what you're having problems with. That's fair enough. And what I suggest you do is go ahead and head over to my website, grab yourself a copy of my digital book, and watch that video of mine. And you can go from there, or you can take advice from other successful people, not just myself, in a relationship. Long term relationship, lifelong. People who are having great success. Go get advice from them because you're not even in the beginning phase. You're trying to date people and already having problems. That's because you're rushing the process. You need to really get to know the person that you're interested in first as an acquaintance. And then maybe you guys become friends and then you can move on from there. But the whole dating process is garbage. Don't find out the hard way. No wonder he has no success. All right, so it's a fair comment. Let's go ahead and move on to the last comment of the show. Excuse my rant, but I am completely lost nowadays when it comes to relationships. Being single for a couple of years, okay? Why is it that people want to shove down someone's throats a relationship with just a couple of days of talking? That's a bit aggressive. Just a couple of nice texts, but zero phone or video calls, zero dates. Are you trying to say zero in Spanish? Cero? And they want to be exclusive and then get mad when I say no, someone help. Okay. Well, it's because far too many people these days are desperate, lazy, lack wisdom and patience. How about that? This, of course, causes them to never listen to successful people such as myself, for example, or others trying to help them. So they never learn and always fail. That's the world that we live in. Everybody just wants to pretend that you can find love in 2 minutes, or using a GPS to find out where to go, or asking AI, where should I go? What are my odds? You guys got to put the screens down. You guys got to grow up. Really have to wise up. So this is not a rant by this person, but I can see why they're completely lost because, they're bumping into people who want to live life in the fast lane. You can't rush love. How many times do I have to say that? Just a couple of nice texts and video, but no video call, phone call. That's horrible. Yeah, so, they're just complaining about the atmosphere nowadays. So I'm just going to go ahead and say this is a fair comment. It's a fair comment. I mean, they're just noting the type of atmosphere we live in today in the relationship scene. It's very poor. It's very rushed. People are just tripping all up over themselves and they get upset. Then they blame everybody. They want to bring everybody down. If I can't be happy, you can't be happy. So it's a fair observation. But, to ask me the question, why is it that people want to shove down someone's throat a relationship just in a couple of, well, because they're in a rush. Okay. So that pretty much concludes that. Uh, Everybody's in a rush. And there's a lot of passiveness too. Uh, people just, they don't want to hear it. And so it's ignorance. You're literally choosing to ignore people who have something helpful to say, trying to reach out to help you out, or your resources. Maybe you have family member, a friend, or you can reach out to someone like myself, a relationship coach, to help you out with your relationship situation. But if you keep pressing that button over and over that says, no, no, I don't need anybody's help, well, just look forward to wasting 10 years of your life, 20 years of your life. Oh, yes, you better best believe it. 30 years of your life, or the rest of your life being stubborn, foolishly stubborn, like a loser, because you're losing in life. You're not winning in life. Don't be a loser. If you have a comment that you would like for me to go over on this show, please put it down in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Coach Ben's Don't Be a Loser. Until next time, much love, everybody.